Psilocybin relieves depression by improving communication in the brain. Psilocybin, a hallucinogenic compound found in some mushrooms, is being studied extensively for the treatment of depression. Previous studies have shown that it has very good effects when combined with psychological therapy. Now, scientists have determined that psilocybin improves communication between different areas of the brain and promotes greater connection between them, freeing people suffering from depression from rigid, negative thought patterns. There is growing evidence that psilocybin, a psychoactive compound found in some mushrooms, is beneficial for people suffering from depression. Research from last year even suggested that this compound, when combined with psychological therapy, is as effective in fighting depression as leading antidepressants. Yale scientists showed that a single dose of psilocybin given to mice caused an immediate increase in connections between neurons, which may explain the antidepressant effects of this compound. In turn, researchers from the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine determined that the beneficial effects of psilocybin-assisted antidepressant therapy can last up to a year after the end of treatment. In a new study, published in the journal Nature Medicine, researchers looked at exactly how a psychedelic could improve depression. The team collected brain scans from about 60 patients who participated in clinical trials of psilocybin therapy. These scans revealed clear changes in the patients' brains that occurred after taking the compound. What we saw was a significant increase in connectivity between different areas of the brain, says lead author Richard Dawes of King's College London, adding that healthy people with high levels of well-being and cognitive function tend to have very well-functioning brain connections. In contrast, in people with depression, we see quite the opposite. The brain is characterized by segregation. This impairs the brain's ability to dynamically switch between different mental states and thinking patterns, explains Dawes. The new study involved 59 people who were divided into two groups. The 16 participants in the first group are people with treatment-resistant depression. This means that patients have tried various antidepressants in the past, but have not had any improvement. These patients initially received a 10 mg dose of psilocybin, followed 7 days later by an additional 25 mg dose. Participants were closely monitored during each treatment session, and after each session, they spoke with psychotherapists to share their experiences, to see how the patients' brains changed after treatment. The researchers used a technique called functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, which measures changes in blood flow to different parts of the brain. Blood flow through the brain reflects which regions of the organ are active. Participants had fMRI scans before starting therapy and then 1 day after taking the 25 mg dose. Symptoms of depression before and after treatment were also assessed. The fMRI scans showed that after treatment, the patient's brain networks became less separated and thus more integrated, as evidenced by the dynamic blood flow between them. These changes correlated with long-term improvements in patients' depressive symptoms. The second group of respondents consisted of 43 people. Participants were randomly assigned to receive either psilocybin or the conventional antidepressant escitalopram. Neither the study participants nor the researchers knew which drug was given to which participant. The psilocybin group received two 25 mg doses 3 weeks apart, and also took a placebo throughout the study. The escitalopram group received 2 1 mg doses of psilocybin, also 3 weeks apart, and took daily escitalopram throughout the study. 1 mg doses of psilocybin should not have had any noticeable psychedelic effect, so they served as a placebo, explains study co-author Robin Carhart-Harris. It usually takes 3 to 5 times the dose to have an effect, he adds. There were no significant changes in brain communication after the end of treatment in the escitalopram group. In turn, people taking psilocybin showed a marked increase in the integration of brain networks. Importantly, patients in the psilocybin group experienced significantly greater improvement in their depressive symptoms than those who took escitalopram. Our findings are very important. These suggest that psilocybin's antidepressant effects are based on different mechanisms than those of conventional antidepressants, Dawes says. What are these mechanisms? It's probably a structure in brain cells known as the serotonin 2A receptor. Like LSD and other psychedelics, psilocybin binds to serotonin 2A receptors in the brain and activates them. These receptors are found in regions of the brain that are involved in high-level cognitive functions, such as introspection and executive functioning, explains Carhart-Harris. After exposure to psilocybin, these receptors undergo a kind of reset that restores their activity. Before a new drug can be approved by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, large-scale clinical trials involving hundreds of patients will be required. Other studies are also underway to show whether this substance can be used in the treatment of other diseases, such as anorexia. The authors of the study emphasize that although psilocybin has beneficial antidepressant effects, patients should not take it on their own. Studies have shown that the compound can be an effective treatment for depression if administered carefully and under the supervision of psychiatrists. Trying on your own can backfire.